There are two things that most employers hate to do. The first is hiring. It's because it's so hard to know whether or not this is going to be a great person. The second, and they really hate this even more, and that's firing. I mean, we hate to have to tell somebody that they haven't performed and it's time to let them go. And there are two basic approaches that you can take to this when you know you have to do it. The first is what's called an at-will firing. Many states allow you to hire and fire people at will, which means you don't have to have a reason for letting somebody go. And this is the one that has the least amount of legal exposure. So check your state to find out what the rules or the laws are for your state. An at-will firing means that you say to them, you know, I've decided that isn't working, I'm just going to let you go, and you say nothing else. You don't go any further in describing why, no matter how many times they ask you. That minimizes your risk. The other way is what's called an at-cause termination of employment, and that's because they've done something and you've tried to fix it and it's not working, and you're telling them because you don't perform at the right level, I'm letting you go. Now, in that case, you probably have an employee handbook or written policies about how to deal with discipline and termination, and you better follow those according to the letter of those policies, and you better document all of it because that's your defense if this gets disputed in court. If you don't have any policies at all, now you're leaving it up to the judge to make a decision about whether or not you're being fair or whether or not the employee has been misjudged, and you're really putting too much power into their hands. In either case, whether you have a policy written or not, if it's going to be an at-cause firing, be very cautious. Make sure that you've documented everything and that the employee knows that you've documented everything. Hopefully all of that will help the employee to be encouraged to go look for a greater opportunity and not feel the need to throw you into court and create a lot of unnecessary expense.